I don't know what it is about today, but I just cannot seem to accomplish anything. So I'm waiting on some stuff on this 1850 behind me. Yeah, it's a mess, but it's going back together. I realized overnight that the steering line was leaking fluid all night long onto my cardboard creeper and making a mess. So that explains that. But I'm thinking that I want to get started on this project. So step one here is going to be, I want to pull the one piston and rod out of here so I can take the piston, or the, well, let me explain right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man. This is my beloved 1655 that Granddaddy bought new, and it's been apart for almost a year, and I'm not liking that. So if you recall previous episode, we took bearings loose to see if I would need to get the crank looked at or what kind of shape it was in. Everything in the motor looks beautiful because it has very few hours on it since it was overhauled at the dealer, I guess. I don't remember the last place that overhauled it, but anyway, I didn't do it, that's what I'm saying. So I ordered an engine kit. It's in my living room, so it stays nice. And the only thing that could possibly hold me up now is if the piston pin on the new piston would be not tight in this rod bushing, and if it's not, then I'm gonna have to have the rods machined. So the only way to find that out would be to pull it up out of there and, you know, get one of the new pistons out of the box, try it. If it looks super nice, which I would think it would be, because I don't think that there is any difference. I think it's actually the same brand of kit that is in it now, so it should be where we can just go on with our happy lives. But if there's any question at all, it's gonna get machine work done. And maybe I should just pull them all out of there to be sure, because if it's not, I mean, if even one of them's wrong, then we're gonna have a problem. But like I said, I don't think there will be. So that is my plan here. Pull the pistons out. Also, I guess while we're on the topic of that, if you recall, when I took the rod loose, I found that it had some type of nylon lock nut as the nut that was holding it on, and I had never really seen that before. In fact, that is the AGCO factory replacement for these nuts. I even ordered some new old stock ones from years ago from Obsolete Warehouse, and they came with the nylon in them too. So apparently that was a thing. I have not been able to find a service bulletin on that. I'm kind of concerned about what maybe the torque should be on the nylon versus the regular style, but we're gonna just press on and hopefully life will be kind to us as we go. I'm worried about it, but what can I do? Nothing. So that's what's available. So yeah, I guess the step one's gonna be to crawl under there. I think I have 2 bolts holding the oil pan on just to keep it clean. Probably should move that valve cover out of the way so I got room to shove them up out of there. And yeah, I think that maybe I'm gonna take one out first, like I was thinking. Check it. If it looks good, then I'll pull the others out and check them. You know, but if the first one I pull out isn't anywhere close, then I know that we're doing machining, and I'm not gonna pull any more new parts out of the box than I have to. That's what I'm saying. So enough talking, time to do some working. I should also point out that we are on the deluxe shag creeper, as I had a friend who said, I'm gonna throw that in the dumpster unless you want it. And I said, you had me at free. So yeah, we're in style. Plus it's absorbent, so it's bound to catch all the oil. What did I do here? Well, like I said, I'm fairly positive that I put about 2 of the bolts in. Hold the pan up, because that's something that I do. So that's why I'm saying it's probably, that's what she is. I'm thinking that whilst the water's out, we're probably going to rebuild the steering box on this one too, because this greasy mess under here is ridiculous. And I'm positive 90% of that is because the steering's been leaking and then it gets blown backwards. You know what I'm saying. I mean, this is sadness right here, friends. Sadness. Now, Fatso, come on. It's hard to get enthused about this because it's a lot of work, but I want to use this tractor. It's one of my favorites, and it's just been sitting. Oh, mama. Oh, you're in the way. We had this problem getting it out the first time, and I don't remember what I did. I think it was there it is. Are you there? I hope so. Alright. I guess it was the number 2 rod, or the number 2 watching me that we took loose. So that's going to be the one we take loose. I hope we don't find a terrible surprise on here, like one of them is horribly mangled or something. It shouldn't be. Because like I said, the only reason we're doing this is because a couple of those cylinder sleeves showed some bad, what I don't like. They had some naughty places, and it wasn't a nice time. Alright, I really need, I would prefer a wooden stick, because that would let me push without fear of harm. I could use metal, but I don't know if I really want to do that. I could use this extension. It should come up out of there fairly easily because it was a running engine. It's not like it was stuck. God dang it! There's probably a slight ridge at the top of the sleeve. I didn't really feel it, but it must be just enough that it's not going to let me just shove it up out of there nice like. It's going to make me get up and find something to let it have it. Just because it can, you know. Oh, what a pleasant time. I need to vacuum my carpet here. Oh. I'm going to use this rubber tip ratchet handle. There. It should be loose. Should be loose. Oh. Obesity makes life hard. Yeah, this is one of the worst cylinders with the scoring that I didn't like. You can see it's got some wear on it. That looks like that got hot, which might be a bad deal. All right, 1850 workbench. Let's see. Let's take both sides loose because it's not going to probably let me. Why would it let me do what I want to do, you know? I can tell you right now, I don't know if I'm happy. Oh, that's going to just shave off that insulation. That's nice. I guess this one doesn't matter because it's going to be replaced. Come on. Get out of there, you. All right. Yep, friends. We're gonna do machine work on every rod. Would you believe that this has the 2-piece rod bushings in it? And there ain't no way I'm putting them in. You see what I'm talking about? 2 pieces? How they're split in the middle? This right here was one of the causes of failure on the 310, at least in my experience on the ones I've had. One side of this bushing will fall out, and then what do you have? Well, you have an uneven situation where it's hammering around in there, and finally she lets loose. So I am not sad about this now, this project. They all need to come loose. They all need to go to the machine shop, and that's what we're gonna do, because there's no way that I just can't. No. You know what I'm saying? I'm not putting that back in. I got the new ones. Stuff is gonna happen. So we will pull out every single rod and piston. Then we'll probably put the pan back on for today. And then next week, when the machine shop is open, I will take this over to them along with the new bushings, and they will make this better. I'll have to take them a new piston pin out of one of my new pistons, which is in the house, bag of rod bushings, and say, have all the fun you can stand. Because this ain't gonna fly. I mean, this right here is worth it to tear down this motor and maybe save ourselves problems. So sure. All right, well, I forgot we actually pulled 2 loose, so that's good. We're gonna take this. We're gonna get them out, and they are gonna go to the machine shop. Oh. And we're probably gonna fight. We're gonna fight a little. No big deal. Come on, baby doll. All right, friends, I got that done. It kind of fought me a little bit, and that's because she gave me everything she had on her last day. It was just darn near ready for something terrible to happen. It got way too hot at some point in its life, multiple times. As we can see, tractor did run hot for a long time, and that's because it was melting these aluminum pistons down. So always believe your temperature gauge. You know, I don't know who to blame. It could be that this kit was not the best quality, because I've heard other guys have similar troubles on tractors that were overhauled about this same time. But I also vividly remember one time telling Grandpa, you can't use this tractor, it gets too hot. And he said, basically, I'll do what I want. I mean, so yeah, but you can see at certain times it was a liquid. And that's the shape that it is now. The good news is I've saved the bottom end. The bottom end looks spectacular. Any bearing you pull out looks just like this, the same as it was the day it was put in. So we're gonna go again with that. The number 6 hole was the best one for some reason. It survived with the least amount of damage, and it still slides in there nicely, you know. The rest of these, they don't really want to go in there very good. So they were done. I do not regret doing this now, and I especially don't regret it because of these rod bushings. I mean, 2-piece rod bushings is a sin, my friends. Don't do it anymore. This one's actually spun if they put it in correctly. That little whoop-de-woo is supposed to be where that hole is to let the oil in, and it has turned. Oh, look there. Right there. Hand loose. That one was about ready to come out and get pounded into submission. So definitely always, you know, when you overhaul a motor, use 1-piece rod bushings, because that ain't gonna fly. And then yeah, don't run them hot, because they're aluminum pistons nowadays and they will melt. And I don't know why this tractor always had that trouble since it was overhauled. It just, about from day one, it ran hot, and no matter what you did, you couldn't make it better. And this time we finally found what our issue was. I never tore it down this far. I had the head off of it once before, couldn't find anything, but very obvious now what the trouble is. And then also, like in this one, there was scoring on the walls this time from when it blew the head gasket. So yeah, so I'll get the rods done, and then when they come back, then we will knock the sleeves out, and then it's just a matter of reassembling. Clean it up a little, reassemble. This is just surface rust. It'll come right off, no big deal. And we should have this back to a runner not very long after the rods come back. So that is the next hurdle. But I think my good old time machine shop is still in business a couple days a week. So I'm gonna run the stuff up there this next week, and hopefully it won't take him too long and we can be back in business. But I am happy that I found something wrong that definitely proves why it was running hot, and that sure enough is it, you know. So the tractor has great oil pressure, probably some of the best I've ever had on any of them. It runs about 50 pounds of oil pressure almost all the time, you know. Goes down a little bit after it gets hot, but it's excellent. So that tells me right there that cam bushings are good, you know, the main bearings are good. We see that the rod bearings are good. So roll a new set of rod bearings in, new sleeves and pistons, and my newly remachined head. How dare you, GoPro battery run out? But as I was saying, I got my newly machined head back, and it's in a lot better shape than it was. So it's got a little surface rust on it now, but we can clean that up, and then we'll put this back together, and we will have hopefully a spectacular machine when we are done. So I've got all the pieces other than getting these rods machined. So I'll bring you back sometime whenever that is ready to happen. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up. That helps out the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything. Leave a comment. Tell me that you liked it, or tell me that you hated it. Tell me I'm a moron. I really don't care, but anything that you say helps us out too. So thank you again, as always, for watching, and I will see you in the next one.